it got so very bad that I could not even talk. Do you understand? I could not even let work, because who would listen to me? A lot of people don't know what it is. A lot of people don't know what triggers it. A lot of people don't know how to deal with it. Even teachers in school don't know how to deal with a child that stutters. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of seeing my face, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. My name is Sarah Oluwatosin, and here is Sarah's Corner. Here we discuss about God. This channel is basically based on faith. Our foundation is faith, is the love of God. We should Bible study, family psychology as well, stutter awareness, and lifestyle. So this video is one that I've been very eager to share with you, as it is a video concerning stutter. I've been eager to start talking about stutter on my channel, and I'm happy that I'm finally doing that. So this video is launching stutter awareness on my channel. And what is this video going to be about? Basically, it's going to be about my journey with stuttering, how I have progressed from the shy, timid girl whose fear stops her from going after what she wants to this person that I am today. Of course, I'm still on the journey. Of course, I'm still discovering myself. I'm still on the journey of self-discovery. At times, I still get scared. But I mean, I'm doing it anyway, ain't I? You're on my channel. So yeah, basically, so that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. How did my journey with stutter start? What are the events that led to it? So get ready for this very juicy gist, because yeah, it's going to be juicy. You know I like to talk, right? So don't worry, I'm going to spill everything. Yeah, but this is going to be a video where I'm going to be very vulnerable. I'm not going to give all the details, of course, because it's a very personal story, but I'm going to share what I can with you so that it can raise your spirits. If you struggle with stutter as well, I really hope that this video will help you come out of your shell and do better. Okay, so I know that some people might not know what stutter is, and I'm going to be first of all telling you what stutter is. So stutter is a situation where someone constantly repeats words. So this person actually knows what they want to say. They already have it formed in their brain, but the problem is letting it out. Do you understand? So when that sort of person wants to say person, for instance, you can see them doing something like or person, that kind of thing. So that is what stuttering is. It is accompanied with blinking, you know, sometimes hitting your hands on your legs, stamping your foot on the ground just to get words out. It is a very, very frustrating thing. Do you understand? And yeah, I'm going to be sharing my journey with you. So how did stuttering start for me? Was I born with it? No, I was not born with it. How did it start? It started at a very early stage in my life. What actually triggered it was a hostile environment. So I was very little, and I was living with my grandparents and my dad, and I was really very taken care of. I was that girl. Some used to call me spoiled, but I don't think I was spoiled. I was just very taken care of. I was paid attention to, and this was before I was 6 years old. So at some point, I had to change environment. So some personal or family things led to some family things that required that I change environment. So I went to live with somebody else, and that was how it all started for me. So first of all, I was living a very comfortable environment as a very little girl. Remember I said I was 6 years old. I was living a very comfortable environment, an environment where I didn't even know what life was. All my work was just sleep, wake up, eat, go to school, do well in school, come back home, enjoy yourself. Do you understand? So I left that place to an environment where all of those things stopped, and I was beginning to experience the opposite of all of those things. I was not paid attention to. I was sort of like neglected. You know, in my head at the time, I could not tell anybody what I was facing, because so this place that I was, they had this house girl who was very mean towards us. So there were 3 other children there plus the house girl. This house girl was very mean to us, to me in particular, and she would do some things, spoil something at home, for instance, and tell everybody to gang up and say I was the one that did it. So when the parents come and I'm trying to tell them, and they ask, oh, who did this thing, everybody's ganging up against me to say I did it, something I did not even do. Do you understand? And then I'm trying to tell them, oh, I didn't do this thing, this is not me that did it. And then they're saying, oh, you are lying, shut up, everybody say you did it, then why you not say you did it? So over time I experienced things like that. So in that environment I started being scared. I could not express myself. I didn't have a voice anymore. What I said did not matter. I'm trying to, give you this gist without any emotions, because I don't want to go into my emotions right now. I just want to let the talk out. Do you understand? Because it was a lot for me at the time. I remember I said I was about 6, so I stayed in that place for 6 years. But at the time, I didn't know I was going to stay there for 6 years. If I knew I was going to stay there for 6 years, I would have braced myself up, do you understand, and just keep counting the days to when I was going to leave. But I didn't know I was going to stay there for 6 years. And remember, I was very, very young. At the time I was being maltreated, that was what it looked like to me, because I could not talk. People would ride me. Even the children at some point started to just gang up against me, say, do things. And then in school, I started to be bullied. Remember I said when I want to talk, I want to let my words out, maybe I'm stammering, I'm scared, I'll say, shut up, you are lying, that's why you want to stammer. Shut up, it's only stammerers that lie. And then other times when the stammering just now grew on me, even when we were talking, maybe discussing, and I stammer, everybody would just laugh. Ah, she's touching, oh my God. And all of that. And then I'll feel bad. Do you understand? I'm coiled into my shell, and I started being inexpressive. So in school as well, I was really bullied. My classmates would bully me, laugh at me, even not because of stuttering, just normally because I just now grew into this girl that could not stand up for herself. even in school. I could not stand up to my mates. People would just ride me anyhow, take advantage of me. There was nobody I could go home to tell, because nobody really cared about me at home. Do you understand? It was just me and myself in school. But I remember that I had this class teacher at the time, Auntie Sheon. God bless you, Auntie Sheon. Auntie Sheon was there for me a bit, to the extent that she was able to know where I born. That was it. And so what I was going through at home, started to reflect in school. I was doing very badly in school, and that really still killed my self-esteem more and more and more. So that was like the genesis of stuttering for me. It got so very bad that I could not even talk. Do you understand? I could not even let work, because who would listen to me? Then the fact that, even at home they were saying if I'm stuttering, that means I'm lying. Or if I even try to talk and I stutter, they would laugh at me. Nobody has the patience to listen to me. And then in school, nobody wanted to be my friend. Everybody was just bullying me. So all of those things just led to me just not talking at all. I stopped talking, maybe the 1 or 2 friends that I had, and then I just felt a very low self-esteem. I could not even express myself at all. So that was that about that. Then I went to boarding school, the same thing. Even the few friends that I had, they still used to laugh at me for stammering. But really, I don't really think that the laughing at me really got to me all that much. But I mean, it was what it was, right? So, but basically what got to me was just the fear. I was so scared of talking. I was so scared of being myself. I felt like I did not have a voice, like nobody cared to listen to what I had to say. If you were talking about something and I was not cool with it, I could not even talk. Do you understand? Because I didn't want to stammer, and even if I just didn't want anybody to just it just felt completely comfortable, or it just felt completely easy. It was easier to keep quiet than to talk and be laughed at, or be treated badly and all of that. How did I now start working on my stammering? So to the glory of God, after I spent 6 years in that place, I got back to living with my parents. And when I started to live with my parents, my dad noticed that it was so glaring that even apart from the stuttering, a lot of things that was already written all over me, like apart from the stuttering, I had low self-esteem. It was just so bad. There were a lot of things. And my dad is like, why are you talking like this? Why are you talking like this? I did not give birth to you like this. When did this one start? And at that point, I was already at the point where to get the words out. No, I was not at the point to get the words out. So my dad and my mom just started to like, oh, talk like, Sarah, why are you stammering? Do you understand? You know, my parents now started to pay attention to it. Like, why are you? Nobody had ever asked me why are you stammering, or are you? You know, nobody cared. Just keep quiet. There are a lot of other people to talk. What you have to say does not matter. But then living with my parents, it mattered. So it was something. My parents too, at times they laugh, because to be sincere, stammering is funny. When I do that, of course it's funny. So my parents, they used to, but they really genuinely wanted to work on it with me. So, but they didn't do much. But at the time when I came back to living with my parents, right, they started to talk to me about it. You were not giving birth to like this. At least they even put that thing in me that, oh, this was not how we give birth to you. And it just dawned on me that, okay, I think I have to start working on it. And mind you, I've always loved to be a talker. I'm naturally an expressive person. Do you understand? Now, I didn't know it then. Now that I'm growing up, I know, like, I love to talk. I remember when I was in primary school, when they were doing debates, I would want to like participate, but I couldn't because I stammer, and who wants to give me that I was doing very badly, you know, in school at the time. Nobody was, you know, I just always liked, you know, when I see people debate. I just used to love talking. When I started to live with my parents, like I said, there were a lot of other things. They first of all noticed how I was always scared. Do you understand? I was now naturally, I don't know if the word is anxious, like, or I was naturally always shaking. I could not do things without fear. So my dad can say, oh, go and bring that book for me inside, and before I come out, the book has fallen down, or, you know, I'm just always shaking. And then I remember there was this event where I broke a plate. I started with my parents at this time, so I broke a plate in the kitchen by mistake, and I could not even go inside to tell my parents I broke a plate. I was just crying. If you measure the amount of tears I cried that day, it would be up to a bucket. I was just crying and shaking. And I remember my dad just came to the kitchen and saw me, and like, why are you crying? What's the problem? With plates everywhere. I'm like, Daddy, I broke it. I couldn't even talk. My dad was so shaken. Like, what is this? Is that why you are crying? Because you broke a plate. And, you know, he would see how psychologically and mentally affected I was. And he now started to tell me how loved that I was. Do you understand? Because where I was coming from, if you break a plate, you are dead. Even when you are not the one that broke the plate, they are lying that you broke the plate and they will flog you like mad. Not to talk of you actually broke the plate. You are in soup now. So that was just it. Like, you were not, like, I just was not ready to make mistakes. If a plate breaks, I am dead. And actually, even up until now, I still have that thing a little bit, but it's in my subconscious that, you know, I don't have to be so shaking. Do you understand? So I remember that day when I broke the plate and my daddy came. My daddy called me, drew me close to himself, and was telling me how I don't have to cry. It was a mistake. People make mistakes. I'm loved. I'm better than the plate. Like, if I break all the plates, it will buy new ones. Do you understand? And he told me how loved I am, how perfect I am, how I don't have to cry because they will not kill me, how I don't have to, you know, he just told me a lot of things. And then I did not even know that those words were actually shaping me, or they were actually giving me a new perspective to life. But now I can look back and say those things really helped me. So at least it developed in me a consciousness that, okay, I think I can make some mistakes. My daddy will not kill me. It's normal to make mistakes. Do you understand? So I changed schools when I came to Lagos, right? That's living with my parents. I changed schools, and before I resumed that school, my mom had already started. You remember I said I was doing very badly in where I was before in the school. So when my parents saw me and everything, they started to make efforts, put in efforts to make me better. So my mom started to teach me mathematics. She started to put in effort, started to, you know, feed me with words that really encouraged me and made me sit up. And trust me, God started work. Like, I don't know the kind of spirit that got into me. Just like the same way, the same switch that happened, the same immediate or abrupt switch that happened when I started to live with those people, is the same switch that happened when I came to live with my parents. Like, it just felt like I was just a new person. In time, I was just a fighter. I was just ready to be a new person, to be a better version of myself, to take on challenges. So that was what happened. So I resumed my new school, and I remember, like, I came to that school a fighter. Like, I was ready for them. Nobody will bully me. Although it was scary, you know that when you make decisions, at times you're making it, you know, it seems easy, but it wasn't an easy task. So I remember when I resumed that school, in my class there was this girl. She was like the member of the class. I know those things in school where you have this person that maybe the person is a little bit rich and a little bit huge, and then they just call the next person, take this 1,000 and go and buy me so so you can buy yourself 100 naira and something. That kind of thing. So that was the kind of person that girl was, and I had picked her up because I'm used to those kind of people. I had picked her up in the class, and I'm like,
I'm not going to let this person use me.
So even if this person was not using me, I was totally defensive. I just became defensive because I still used to stammer. It was very difficult standing up for myself because I could not express myself. So, and you know that thing where when we were younger, of course, you know, we say, oh, I don't have a physical vigor, I can't fight, but I can fight with my mouth. I can't. Me, I've never been able to, I don't think I've ever won a physical fight in my life. Do you understand? But I know that I have, like, I can't talk. Do you understand? I'm a very blunt person. So if not that I used to stammer, a lot of people that would ride me or that would bully me or that would talk, use their mouth, what I will use my mouth to say to you, you will not even like it. But I could not say them because I used to stammer. Before I let out you have already said 1 million words. And your 1 million words have gotten to me and I'm already crying because I can't even let out my words. But still, I didn't let that stop me. I remember that my new classmates, some of them welcomed me, some of them used to laugh at me because even apart from the fact that I used to stutter, I also had this accent. So because of where I lived before coming to live with my parents was sort of like a village setting, sort of, not a village but like a town. Do you understand? That's where I come from. So, you know, remember I said before I went to live with them, I was this botish, spoiled, beautiful, fine girl, you know, but going to live with them, everything just changed. I don't know how to speak Yoruba before, but as soon as I got there, I had to learn Yoruba like 1 week or 2 weeks because like everything, it was just a totally new environment, a totally hostile environment. I know hostile is a strong word, but really, you know, so the same way. So by the time I came back to living in Lagos, I already had an accent. So an accent is something like saying, oh, maybe I want to say, oh, I had an accent, and I'm saying I had an accent. That kind of thing, you know, that Yoruba accent. So my classmates there, they used to laugh at me like, who is this village girl? Who is this village girl? Do you understand? But for some reason, I didn't even let it get to me. But I just made it. At that time, I was about 11, 12. I just knew that I had to start to work on myself. If I really wanted to be the fearless woman I was hoping to be, I had to start to work on myself. So I didn't have a phone. I used to use my dad's phone to make research. That was when I made research and I found out that stuttering does not have a cure, but there are ways you can control it. I started to look for tips on how to stop stammering, you know, how to control it. And I started to work on myself right from then. Then another thing that God used to help me was the church that I became a part of. Before I went to that church, my parents and I were attending a smaller church, a small family church. And in that small family church, there was me and this other girl. Remember, I'm telling you about my experiences and my strengths and my good days and bad days with stuttering. So this is one of the experiences. So this girl and I were age mates. We were friends actually, and we used to. So they used to give us spoken words, or you know, that thing where on Children's Day, children will maybe recite memory verses, you know, all those kind of things. So yeah, me and that girl, we used to do it because it's just two of us and we're like, you know, age mates. And I remember that girl is very brilliant. She's a very brilliant girl. And I remember she would, you know, climb the stage and murder it. Like she would do it very perfectly. And I will go there. And I like to think of myself as a brilliant person. I think I'm very smart. If I put my mind to do something, I can do it well. But this stuttering used to kill my shine. So I would have already mastered mine as well. And to just climb the pulpit to say it, to deliver, I'll just start to stammer, I'll start to stutter. And there's this thing where people feel like when you are stammering or you are stuttering, it's because you don't know what you want to say, or because you are not well prepared. But that's not true. So even my parents at some point used to get to them, they used to compare me to that girl and say that girl was better than I was because she used to deliver very well and people would clap for her. And I remember there was this event where so there was this woman in our church. She was like the richest in our church. So there was this event where she brought some clothes with the teenagers, and she gave every other person the same kind of clothes but gave me a different one. And I remember my parents saying that mine was of lower quality to the ones that she gave the other people because she doesn't like me because I'm not smart. Do you understand? And the only reason why people felt I was not smart was because I stammer. I could not talk. If I read something, I can't even say it. There was another event when I was in school. I think I was about SS1 at the time. And shout out to my English teacher, Mrs. Atiko. You know, I was one of her best students because she felt like I am very good in English and literature. Of course I am. So, you know, that thing in class where, you know, your teacher calls you guys out one after the other to read the literature textbook, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was what happened that day, and she called me out to read what we're going to read for that day, and I came out of the class to read, and I was stuttering. At that time I was already working on myself, but you know, this thing is very gradual. So I was not even scared, but I was stuttering. Do you understand? And I remember she didn't even say anything, but my class teacher at the time, I think I should hide her name. I will not hide her name, Mrs. Owode. She's the one. If she ends up watching this video, I know she meant well, but she just went about it the wrong way. So I was stuttering, and Miss Owode just started to tongue lash me like it was my fault that I was stuttering, and she's like, why are you reading like you are foolish? Why are you doing this? And at the time anyways, Mrs. Owode was pregnant, so you know, pregnancy hormones. So you know, she's like, why are you talking like this? What's this rubbish? Are you not love that home? You know, she just tongue lashed me, and trust me, every self-confidence I had built, I lost it on the spot. And that is another reason why I feel like stutter awareness is very important. A lot of people don't know what it is. A lot of people don't know what triggers it. A lot of people don't know how to deal with it. Even teachers in school don't know how to deal with a child that stutters. And not even only stuttering, some children are going through a lot of other things that they are not supposed to be treated like every other child. Like, every child is particular. Every child is going through through something at the point. Do you understand? You should not just begin to insult or judge any child. Do you understand? Because at that time, she didn't really know what I was going through. She tongue lashed me and she burst in the whole situation. But that was not the time. She said, I'm going to tell your mother. And she told my mom, and my mom told my dad, and the house was just so cold. And you know, because she just assumed I was not loved at home. Anyway, that's fine. So there was a time, so after I left that church where I said the girl, like me and her were age mates, and she used to speak better than me and all of that. So my parents and I changed church, and this changing church was one of the very big turning points in my life. I feel like it is one of the factors that God actually used to change my story around. Like, this church gave me a new story, a new song, made me a new person entirely. So in this church, I remember stepping into that church, and I was in teens church, right? I was a teenager. So I entered the church, and you know, I didn't even know that God had a plan. So I remember there was a time in that church, right, where our teenage teachers were busy. We were supposed to have Sunday school that morning. Our teenage teachers were busy, and you know, I was given the opportunity to teach Sunday school. So I think I was like the eldest in the class at the time or something, I can't remember. So I was given the opportunity to preach Sunday school that day to the other people, and yeah, I was ready. So I took the Sunday school manual, and we all saw that it was like a small group, and I started to speak, I started to teach them, and I was stuttering, and two of them started to laugh, serious laugh, like they were not hiding it. I know teenagers can be very funny, they are very raw and real, they don't hide their emotions. God has always done something for me. Like, every group that I am in, they like to just put me out there. I've never cowed in any group. I like stay at the back. Even if I want to stay at the back, I would think, no, will not allow me. But it was different for me. At that time, God has just started to do some kind of work on me that I just wanted to be out there.